everyone, Kate here for a spontaneous book review. I had to talk about and try to convince other bookish kindred spirits to read Exile by Lauren G. Warnemund, and I apologize to the author if I am mispronouncing your last name. I was not expecting to fall in love with this book so much. I want to give a huge thank you to Bandersnatch Books, who very generously gave me this review copy along with the second in the trilogy, Wandering. So the first is called Exile, the second one is called Wandering, and it just came out. And then the third and final part of the trilogy will be released in November. So the author wrote this trilogy over a very long period of time. So then I think it's just extraordinary that they are publishing the trilogy in its entirety within a year. And I wrote to Bandersnatch Books inquiring about a different arc of a book that's coming out that has some kind of Cinderella type elements to it. And it really intrigued me. They are an independent press, and they wrote back and said, we are happy to give you an arc of that. That book is coming out, I think it's October is when it comes out, or November. I will be talking about that one more in the future, but I thought since these are already out, I would talk about these first. And in that same response email, they said, would you also be interested, since you mentioned that you like unique fairy tale retellings, we do have 2 out of 3 of a trilogy published, and it's a retelling of the Maid Maleen Grimm's fairy tale. And I had, I think, seen maybe this on social media, but was a bit hesitant to kind of dive in with it because the Maid Maleen fairy tale is a story in which Maid Maleen is locked in a tower for a significant portion of time. And I am a reader that typically in my stories, I like characters to have freedom of movement. Agatha Christie's 2 of her really well-loved books, Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express, I actually don't enjoy because of the lack of freedom of movement. I get very claustrophobic and restless, like I want more things to happen. So I wasn't sure how I would feel about it, but then I did go ahead and read a sample, and I thought, wow, this writing is really something special. So I said, yes, I would be so honored to be sent those, and I'm so glad that I accepted these. This is the most beautiful story, all about Maid Maleen, who is given an impossible choice when her father senses impending war coming into their country and being on their homeland. He wants to do something to keep his daughter safe. She is in love with a prince from a neighboring country, and for reasons that he is not explaining to her, he does not want her to marry him. But he does have another prince in mind that he would like to marry her. And so the impossible choice that Maid Maleen is given is marry this prince that you are not in love with, or choose solitary confinement in a tower, or semi-solitary confinement. She would have a servant accompany her and stay with her for the duration. And what makes this so heavy to me, heavier than Rapunzel, is that Maleen sees the tower being built for months and months and months at a time, whereas Rapunzel has no memory of ever not living in the tower. And so it's just this omen, this black cloud looming over her as it gets closer and closer. She keeps hoping that something will happen to change. I don't want to give too much away, but then eventually she is in the tower. And the writing in this is so captivating, and these characters so well fleshed out and developed that it never once felt stagnant. I was fascinated by Maleen and then her maid, Marietta. I could not wait to learn more about them. And also, they have a very complicated dynamic between the 2 of them. And what made this book even more beautiful is the incredible character arc, that Maleen has. She has these very glaring personality flaws when the book starts out. And so you kind of think, wow, I'm going to be spending a book with this character that has these aspects about her that I really do not love so much. And kind of trusting the author that they're going to take you on a journey, and she's not going to stay the exact same as she started out in the beginning. And things will evolve and change, and I just more and more gravitate towards books where the refining of someone's character is the main kind of course of the book, the main thing that you observe in the book, because I think that feels the most true to life. These having your character shaped and molded is a really painful process. And so if you can find these book characters that you empathize with, you know, Malene, she was very selfish, incredibly self-absorbed, but then in the more vulnerable moments that she has, because you're getting to know what she's thinking, you really kind of understand where she is coming from, and you see her go on this beautiful journey. I really enjoyed kind of the author also unpacking what it would have been like to live in a tower for a substantial amount of time, having supplies, and how you would occupy your time, how you would keep things clean. And it was just a really, I don't know, just incredible. I feel like this story was done with so much care and love. And it's an all time favorite fairy tale retelling now. When I find a new beloved fairy tale retelling, I love to shout it from the rooftops, because to me, that is a really beautiful way, a beautiful lens to look at characters and to look at what the stuff that they're made of, how they're going to endure the quest that they're on or the trial that they're going through. And it's so beautiful. Now, another element of this story that really just clinched it as a 5-star read for me was the love of story. It has this very sacred feel to it. There are prophecies, and I will just read, I think it's even before the story starts. Also, let's just say it has a map. Isn't that such a bonus? So where is that prophecy? Yes, so in memory of the deliverance of Arden upon Bannet Hill, when the kingdoms of the south were brought low by the hand of the mighty one. War will not depart from you, O beautiful Arden. This present peace is the calm before the storm. As the clouds darken the sun, the flower of the kingdom will die, and her bloom will be entombed. Her radiance will be hidden from the sun. Know this, O beautiful lady, your sacrifice will be your freedom and your throne. Then the lone barren apple tree beside the great spring will bear its fruit to final victory and final defeat. And there's something about a story, contemporary story, that has a sort of sacred feel to it that is such a breath of fresh air in an era of kind of amusing ourselves to death. This felt like leisure. And leisure is a very different thing than amusement. Leisure is building up your soul, nourishing your soul, and feeding your soul, and making you have more wonder for the world around you, and inspiring you as you encounter more stories and making connections through them. So this just felt like such a nourishing book to read. And in addition to that, there is a thread of faith that's woven throughout the story in such a nuanced fashion, and it's so poetically and beautifully done. This is just the fairy tale retelling of dreams for me, honestly. And I love that it's not the Maid Malene story I knew of from the Book of 1,000 Days, but it's not one that I would necessarily have gravitated to. So that just shows you what a special author can do with that. And within the thread of faith that's so poetic is, I love the names that are referred to for the deity in this. So there is the one who, the mighty one, and then there's the one who upholds, the one who loves, the mighty one, I already said that, the one who guides, and all of these beautiful things. So, we don't have to spell things out right there to receive these beautiful messages that are put in there. So I hope that you might take a chance on Exile, and I now have a couple other books that I hadn't finished. So I want to finish those, kind of tidy up my currently reading, but then get right to Wandering. And look how beautiful the art is. Lauren said that actually her daughters helped with the art on these. So I cannot wait to see what the cover of Promise looks like. And this one is even chunkier. So also there is beautiful art at the beginning of each chapter, which is just, there's so many delightful things about these books. So here, just these beautiful little drawings at the beginning of each chapter. Thank you as always for watching, and thank you again to Bandersnatch Books for this beautiful book. And I will be back for another review of this trilogy, and that will be focusing on Wandering. Have a lovely day, everyone, and I will be back with another video soon. Bye!